Hello and a very warm welcome. I am Gushin Galan and you're watching Firstpost. In the next few minutes, I get you the top 40 updates from around the world, only here on Fast and Factual. Let's get started. We begin with Asia. India successfully test-fired Prithvi-2 and Agni-1 nuclear-capable short-range ballistic missiles. The missiles were test-fired from the integrated test range in Odisha. The test validated all operational and technical parameters. The Indian Army also successfully tested the Akash Prime missile system, which destroyed two high-speed unmanned aerial targets at 15,000 feet in Ladakh. It is a new variant of the Akash weapon system used during Operation Sindoor. Akash is a surface-to-air missile system with a range of 25 to 30 kilometers. At least 50 schools in New Delhi received bomb threats via email. The email reportedly claimed that explosives had been placed in classrooms. Meanwhile, 40 schools in Bengaluru city too were hit with bomb threats. Authorities in both the cities swiftly launched an investigation and sent teams to the schools to assess the ground. The United States has officially designated the Resistance Front or TRF as a terrorist group. Secretary of State Marco Rubio identified TRF as a proxy of Lashkar-e-Taiba, a Pakistan-based UN-designated terror group. The move follows the deadly April attack in Pahalgam that killed 26 people. India welcomed the designation, calling it a strong signal of US-India counter-terrorism cooperation. The White House has dismissed the reports of President Trump's visit to Pakistan. This comes after Pakistani TV channels reported that he will visit the country in September. One of the channels also issued an apology. The last US president to visit Pakistan was George W. Bush in 2006. The White House confirmed that US President Donald Trump was evaluated for swelling in his lower legs and bruising on his hands. According to a letter from his physician, Trump has been diagnosed with chronic venous insufficiency, a common condition among those above 70. The bruising on his hands were attributed to frequent handshaking and aspirin use as part of a cardiovascular prevention regime. According to the Syrian Interior Minister spokesperson, Syrian security forces are preparing to redeploy to Sweda city. This comes after clashes between the Beidoun and Druze community broke again overnight. The Syrian government claims it wants to impose stability and protect state institutions. Meanwhile, Israel is also sending aid packages to Sweda worth $600,000. The Delhi sectarian clashes in Sweda have killed nearly 600 people so far. Brazilian President Lula da Silva slammed President Donald Trump's threat to impose 50% tariffs on Brazil as unacceptable blackmail. Referring to Trump, the Brazilian president also said that he would not take orders from a foreigner. This comes after Trump announced plans on July 9th to slap steep tariffs on Brazil. The tariff announcement came days after Lula called Trump an emperor the world does not want. Germany has deported 81 Afghan nationals back to Afghanistan, marking the second such deportation since the Taliban's return to power in 2021, and the first under Chancellor Friedrich Merz's new government. All individuals on the flight, which departed with support from Qatar, were men who had previously come to the attention of judicial authorities. The move signals the Merz administration's intent to take a stricter stance on migration, a key campaign promise. The European Union approved its 18th package of sanctions against Russia over the war in Ukraine. This includes a key measure to lower the price cap on Russian oil exports. The move comes after Slovakia lifted its weeks-long opposition following negotiations with Brussels over reducing dependency on Russian gas. EU Foreign Policy Chief called it one of the strongest sanctions packages to date, emphasizing that each new measure undermines Russia's war capabilities. China's Education Ministry issued a safety advisory for Chinese students studying in the Philippines. They cited a recent series of unspecified criminal incidents allegedly targeting the Chinese students. While no specific cases were detailed, students were urged to heighten their personal safety awareness. The advisory comes amid heightened tensions between Beijing and Manila over territorial disputes in the South China Sea. On to climate news now. Heavy monsoon rains have caused significant devastation across Pakistan, with at least 63 deaths reported in Punjab province in the past 24 hours. Meanwhile, a state of emergency has been declared in several districts across the province and military has been deployed in the city of Rawalpindi to deal with rising flood levels. This brings the nationwide toll from rain-related incidents to over 159 since late June. Authorities warn nearby communities to stay alert as adjoining streams could overflow in the next 24 hours. In South Korea, President Lee Jae-myung held a disaster meeting on Friday and urged all agencies to mobilize resources. This comes after heavy downpours triggered deadly floods across south and western parts of South Korea on Thursday. According to officials, at least 4 people died and over 5,000 were moved to shelters in flooded areas. Seosan and Gwangju were worst hit with over 400 millimeters of rain in just hours. Flood alert remains in effect for most of the country's western and southern regions. In the U.S., with a flood warning in effect, Kansas City experienced flash floods and water rescues on Thursday. According to officials, over 2 inches of rain fell for a second straight day, which tied a 137-year record. Meanwhile, highways were flooded with cars left nearly submerged. The Kansas City Fire Department carried out at least 18 water rescues by July 17th. However, flash flood warnings remain in place through Saturday as storms swept across the area on Thursday. In Spain, a massive forest fire continues to burn near Mentrida, southwest of Madrid, with a giant cloud of smoke covering the Spanish capital on Thursday. Over a dozen homes were evacuated as flames raged across central Madrid. The Spanish Civil Guard led the evacuation while over 150 firefighters fought the blaze. Authorities urged people to stay indoors, close windows and wear masks. A million-year-old ice core from Antarctica arrived in the UK for climate study on Thursday. Scientists hope to analyze air bubbles trapped inside and understand Earth's past atmosphere. The ice drilled from over 2,800 meters deep could reveal climate patterns from at least 1.5 million years ago. Researchers in Cambridge will use special techniques to melt and study the sample by comparing past CO2 levels to today. Scientists can predict how Earth may respond to warming. The aim is to find clues about the future climate risk by looking deep into Earth's history. On to business and tech news now. Shares in Asian markets climbed earlier today, tracking Wall Street's record closes overnight as strong US economic data and quarterly earnings offset tariff worries. The MSCI Asia Pacific Index rose its highest since 2021, while Japan's Nikkei dipped slightly as the yen continued its second week of decline. The U.S. House of Representatives passed a bill to regulate stablecoins pledged to U.S. dollars, sending it to President Trump, who was expected to sign it into law. The bill, known as Genius Act, received bipartisan support and cleared the House with a vote of 308 to 122. Lawmakers also passed 2 other crypto bills, including the Clarity Act on digital asset clarification and a proposal to ban a central bank digital currency. The U.S. Commerce Department announced it would impose preliminary anti-dumping duties of 93.5% on Chinese anode-grade graphite used in EV batteries. The measures covered imports worth $347 million last year, affecting graphite with over 90% carbon purity, including synthetic natural and blended material. A separate investigation in May imposed subsidy duties ranging from 6.5% to over 700%, with final decisions expected by December this year. PepsiCo announced it was removing artificial colors and flavors from its Lay's and Tostitos chips later this year. The move came amid pressure from Health Secretary Robert Kennedy Jr. and the Make America Healthy Again campaign, which urged food makers to promote clean ingredients. The company also said it was expanding the use of avocado and olive oil and planned to offer more natural sugar options in its snacks and beverages. A new report suggested that Union Pacific, the largest freight rail operator in the western United States, is exploring a merger with Norfolk Southern. Norfolk Southern runs a 19,500-mile network across 22 eastern U.S. states and is considered a key player in America's industrial corridor. The proposed deal could create a $200 billion rail giant if regulators approve the merger. L3 Harris Technologies unveiled two new missiles designed to offer low-cost range strike options as the US military replenishes its stockpiles. The Red Wolf and Green Wolf systems have been tested in over 40 successful flights and are designed to hit moving targets over 200 nautical miles away. The Red Wolf focuses on precision strikes while the Green Wolf handles electronic warfare as part of a broader strategy for affordable mass in modern conflicts. Walmart's Mexico and Central America unit Walmex saw $3.7 billion wipe off its market value on Thursday, after reporting weaker than expected second quarter profit margins. The stock plunged 7.4%, its worst one-day drop since 2020, as net profit fell 10% to $598 million. Despite an 8% rise in sales, executives blamed higher tech and labor costs and said torrential rains in Mexico City had hit food and drink sales across stores. The final season of Squid Game helped Netflix beat Wall Street's expectations for second quarter profit with 122 million views just before the quarter closed. The streamer reported $3.1 billion in net income and $11.08 billion in revenue, both slightly above Wall Street projections. Netflix also raised its revenue projections for this year to $45.2 billion, but shares fell 1.8% on Thursday, as investors expected a stronger outlook. Mark Zuckerberg and current as well as former directors and officers of Meta Platforms agreed to settle claims seeking $8 billion for the damage they allegedly caused the company by allowing repeated violations of Facebook users' privacy. The deal comes as the Delaware court trial was about to enter its second day. OpenAI launched an advanced AI agent for ChatGPT, rolling out new tools designed to handle complex tasks. The Microsoft-backed startup said the new agent could order a wedding outfit while taking into account weather and dress code. The feature combined existing tools including Operator, which interacts with websites, and Deep Search used for multi-step tasks. Users on Pro Plus and Team Tires were given access from Thursday. Moving to sports, we begin with football. England rode into semi-finals of Women's Euro 2025. This after they came back from 2 goals down to beat Sweden 3-2 in an unprecedented penalty shootout. Smilla Homburg blasted over from the spot to settle the shootout after the match finished 2-2 in the regular time. England will face Italy in the last 4 in Geneva on July 22. Arsenal signed Canada forward Olivia Smith from Liverpool. Smith will move to Arsenal in a deal worth a reported women's world record fee of $1.3 million. Smith will play for the Champions League holders on a 4-year contract. Italian club Napoli signed the Netherlands attacker Noah Lang from PSV Eindhoven. Napoli have reportedly paid $29 million for the 26-year-old. In 2023, Lang signed for PSV, where he made 63 appearances and scored 19 goals. French authorities open investigation into potentially fraudulent payments made by Kylian Mbappe to the police. The Real Madrid striker's entourage has denied the allegations by claiming complete transparency. In badminton, India's Anupama Upadhyay crashed out of Japan Open. The 20-year-old lost to her Chinese opponent 21-13, 11-21, 21-12 in the second round. With star shuttlers PV Sindhu, Lakshya Sen and men's double pair Satvik Sairaj, Janaki Reddy and Chirag Shetty already out. This marks the end of the Indian campaign at Japan Open. In tennis, former women's world number 2 Honors Jabeur announced she was taking a break from the sport. The Tunisian said she was stepping back to breathe, to heal and to rediscover the joy of simply living. The three-time Grand Slam finalist most recently was forced to retire from the first round at Wimbledon. Australian cricket great Ricky Ponting hails paceman Mitchell Starc, calling his recent performance against West Indies extra special. Ponting said Starc is stacking up an amazing career by striking down over 400 Test match wickets. Starc claimed his 400th wicket against West Indies this week, becoming the fourth Australian to reach the milestone after Shane Warne, Glenn McGrath and Nathan Lyon. And India assesses major selection calls for the Manchester Test, trailing 2-1 in the 5-match Test series. Workload management for pacers and injury recovery of keeper batter Rishabh Pant remains the visitors' key concerns. Team India officials said they are hopeful Rishabh Pant can recover and feature in the 4th Test. India's Sports Ministry asked national sports federations to prepare 5-year development plans. Sports Minister Mansukh Mandaviya said that the country must develop a roadmap on how to take India to top 10 in the Olympics medal tally in the future. And Pakistan athlete Arshad Nadeem, the gold medalist javelin thrower at Paris Olympics, said he did not receive any land plot as part of the string of rewards. In an interview, Nadeem said all the plot announcements made following his gold medal win proved to be fake. And finally, in entertainment news, a new K-pop boy band Universe made their global debut, featuring 2 members who defected from North Korea. The group's first extended play, The Universe, includes the single Shattered, which addresses the harrowing consequences of fleeing one of the world's most repressive regimes. Comprised of 5 men in their 20s from North Korea, Japan and the United States, Universe held a live stream showcase at midnight to mark the release. At a recent concert in Barcelona, Jennifer Lopez responded candidly and humorously to a fan's marriage proposal, signaling she has no intention of marrying again. Holding up a fan's sign that read "J-Lo, marry me," Lopez responded with a joking throat-slash gesture, saying, "I think I am done with that," and adding, "I have tried that a few times." The comment comes 6 months after her separation from actor Ben Affleck. Chris Hemsworth has confirmed the return of his documentary series Limitless for a new season, despite initially intending to stop after 1. The actor revealed that the physical and emotional demands of the show led him to believe he had checked that box for good. However, the overwhelmingly positive reception from audiences, ranging from school children to grandparents, prompted him to reconsider. Stephen Colbert has confirmed that CBS will end The Late Show with Stephen Colbert in May 2026. The announcement made during taping follows Colbert's public criticism of CBS's parent company Paramount Global over a $16 million settlement with President Donald Trump regarding a 60-minute segment. During his monologue earlier this week, Colbert referred to the settlement as a big fat bribe. And legendary musician Bruce Springsteen will be both an honoree and performer at the 2025 Academy Music Gala scheduled for October 18th. The event, a major fundraising gala for the Academy Music of Motion Pictures in Los Angeles, will honor actress Penelope Cruz, comedian Bowen Yang and filmmaker Walter Salles. Last year's event raised over $11 million and honored Quentin Tarantino, Rita Moreno and Paul Mescal. That's all for today. Thank you for joining us. I am Gushin Galan and we'll see you right back here next week. Until then, stay informed and stay tuned to Firstpost.